Well, hey, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Brew. Today just feels sort of like a weird day. I feel like I've been messing up all morning. I think one, because it's the holiday week.
Yeah.
And it's halfway there.
I was going to say, where it's a Wednesday, it's just like, it's that hump that we just need to get over.
I don't know. I don't know what it is either, but Danny just came back, so he's doing great.
He's refreshed and feeling fine.
I was going to say, the 4:30 was a little tough for me, just kind of getting the words out, but now we're back in the saddle.
He's been holding the team together all morning because we're struggling. But you know what? The holiday is approaching. We're not off on the 4th. None of us are. But it's okay.
We're going to be here, and you're going to want to tune into 5 News this morning because, I mean, we're putting this guy on the grill.
We have a lot of surprises in store for the 4th. So
do you think he can cook a burger?
I think he can cook a burger. I heard from a little birdie that his first job was grilling at a ballpark.
It was. My first job was at the Little League fields back in Minnesota where I grew up playing. I grilled hot dogs, burgers, and brats, prepped the fields. It was a great summer job, especially for a 16-year-old.
Okay, so I'm expecting some fantastic burgers.
Do you have some burger seasoning you can bring?
Oh, I do have. I mean, it's just like this Montreal steak seasoning I usually put on, but usually it's pretty good. So maybe I'll get that.
I love that. It's got the right amount of pepper and all kinds of good stuff.
I'll make sure to bring that then.
Okay. We're trusting you. Sorry, you're working with frozen patties, but
I work with frozen patties anyway. It's okay.
Oh, that's probably what you did at the ballpark because they bought them in mass.
Yeah, they buy them in bulk. It was from a nice spot just down the road. So yeah, it would be like 40 in a pack, and we throw them on the grill. So it tastes still pretty good.
We have high expectations now.
I mean, I kind of sucked at it. I don't know. I don't know if that good.
Like, what if they don't like them? What if they don't like a Minnesota burger?
Well, Jacob is going to be at the Greenwood Freedom Fest. You're going to be reporting on a 5K, but we're going to save you a burger.
Oh, I can't.
Because you're going to run it, right?
Oh, no.
Walk it, baby.
I wish.
Work for that burger.
Tiffany and I, we're going to flip the eggs to put on the burger because, I mean, it is sunrise. We got to do breakfast.
And make some bacon. Yeah.
Ooh,
and so it's going to be a good little runny egg burger.
Yeah. Well, make sure to save one for you, Jacob. The first one, I'm like, all right, I'm putting off to the side. That's for Jacob.
And we got to make him a fresh one because he's running. That's true. So he's going to earn it.
Well, whenever you come back, you text me. Like when you're 10 minutes out, just let me know. I got you.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. All right. So let's get to some of our top headlines today here on the Daily Brew. We're talking about the fate of entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs, right? It is now in the hands of a pretty uncertain jury. Yesterday, the jurors told the judge that they reached a verdict on all but one charge, which is that racketeering charge, which is a serious one. So now you got to think, well, which way is it going to go? Because you don't know how the jury decided. Are they deciding guilty on all or innocent on all and stuck on the racketeering? We don't know.
I think, usually defense counsel hates to see a quick decision. It seems like those 4 were decided, in one day and a half. So, the longer this goes, maybe that's, fares better for him. Yeah.
I am curious and we've talked about this before, leading up to this, there were all these rumors, all these allegations about all these celebrities that were involved, all these pictures that were being shared on social media of people could have been involved with them at white parties and stuff like that. But none of that has come out in this case. And so I'm wondering, once this trial is over, is it done for good? Or do we think more stuff will come out? Because you know how things are with social media now. Things kind of fly when things like this happen. And so it's kind of like the minute this happened, it was like, oh, well, these celebrities were involved and these and these and these.
Yeah.
And I think that's what got people so interested in this case. And then we've heard nothing about any of that.
Well, we won't name any names. I'm not going to throw names out there, but they're big-time celebrities. People that everybody knows. And like Jacob was mentioning, if there's even a shred of doubt in that evidence, they're not going to go guilty. So this might take a little while, but yeah, like I said, the most serious charge, and maybe that's why they're taking a little bit more time on it as well. They're making sure they go through all the evidence, all of the witness testimonies just to make sure they get it right.
Well, you think about a jury too. It's hard to not have opinions about this before it starts when most people know who Diddy is. Most people have heard about this case, seen things on social media. I do feel like that makes just picking a jury hard in today's cases, like all across the board because of social media and the access we have to getting things instantly and information. Like it's hard to find people who don't know things about these big time cases now.
Yeah, for sure. It's just going to be crazy. Either way, no matter what happens, I mean, it's going to be massive and sort of probably change the judicial system just a little bit, right? Yeah. I mean, cases that they're going to prosecute maybe in the future. If he's found not guilty, does that mean, because, the U.S. government prosecute, they're not wanting to lose those cases, right?
They usually don't pick cases unless they know that they have a very strong chance of winning.
Well, so what does that mean for the next case? And if he's found not guilty, what does that mean for, him as a businessman, as a person mixed all with all the social media into this trial.
Well, you wonder too, we've seen it with some celebrities that were big in the music world or in the movie industry, and those movies were taken off of streaming services or those songs were taken off of streaming services.
Yeah.
And he was, a big star.
Yeah, his music now.
And so you wonder, is that going to be pulled off of those streaming services if he is found guilty? How does that work? You kind of feel bad even listening to it if you liked the music, if he is found guilty.
Yeah.
It is going to kind of put a lot into that.
Because social media sort of, say if he is found not guilty, sort of ruined maybe, like his career.
Oh, for sure.
Which you talk about like the Menendez case, sort of the opposite there. Social media brought this case back to the forefront. So you never know what you're going to get with it.
And another example of kind of like with careers is O.J. Simpson. And he was found not guilty. Whatever you want to believe, he was found not guilty, but still, he was on NBC doing sports. Obviously, he was a Hall of Fame NFL running back. He had this, massive career. But then ever since then, even though he was found not guilty, and, it was 1994.
His fame was ruined.
Yeah, it was his fame was ruined, even though necessarily he was found not guilty. The rest of his career, he was just known as, if the glove don't fit it, you must have quit.
You think about cases like that too, like the Menendez brothers, social media changed it today. Probably would have changed it back then too. The O.J. Simpson case of social media would have been a thing. I feel like that would have been it was a huge deal, but even bigger. Because people put their opinions out there on it, and it's not just you talking about it at the lunch table anymore. It's like it's everywhere on social media.
And there's power in numbers when it comes to talking about things, bring things back up.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this warehouse storage fireworks explosion that happened in Esparto, California. Now this is video coming from the area. Basically, it was a warehouse storing all of these fireworks, right? It caught fire. Not exactly sure how right now. They're still investigating that. But it just started exploding the fireworks. They started going off. And you can imagine those big fireworks sort of like shooting across the community, right? Which caught a lot of homes on fire and forced evacuations in this area.
This is scary to begin with. And then you just hate to see this too, because, oh my goodness, California has just gone through it with fires over the last few years. And then you have an accident like this happen, which just, it doesn't even look like there's a lot of trees around and things like that, but then they're still dealing with people evacuating and losing their homes over it. And this is, okay, I have thought about this before, guys. It is kind of scary when you think about, some people store leftover fireworks in their garage or things like that. And what might be just like a little kitchen fire could turn into something like this.
Yeah.
Just because of fireworks stored in a house, or we have all these fireworks stands around town. It is really scary.
They caught fire for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about, I'm sure you've probably seen this video. It's on TikTok, all over social media. A technical mishap caused a prop that Beyoncé uses to tilt with her in it. Have you guys seen this?
This was wild. It's pretty scary. And I feel like Beyonce is not one to ever stop performing. Like she's the show must go on type of girl.
Look how far it's tilting, and she's sitting on that.
Yeah, and like gripping. The video I saw, she was kind of like gripping.
And she says like, stop, right?
Yeah, and then everyone's cheering for her, and she's just like thanking them for continuing to support her. And it is wild though. Like, can you imagine you're up there, you're trusting this car. Now, I am wondering, I couldn't tell from the videos that I saw, a lot of times they're strapped in to things like this. And
oh, I'm sure she is.
it didn't look like she was from the videos, but you'd have to think there's some kind of harness or something in case something went wrong. But she was obviously scared enough to be like, lower this. And she might have thought that car was going to fall on the fans.
The fans, yeah.
I don't think we realize, like, both one, how high it up, and two, how tilted it actually is. Like, and
it
you're
looks-
trying to balance yourself on that. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. And I know that she told the crowd after that, she was like, I know y'all were gonna catch me. Like, she like told them afterwards. So
I did see that. But then you think
I
about,
bet you they're catching Beyonce.
yeah.
But
they're
they're
trying.
They're putting their life on the line.
that car's probably not light either.
What is it like is
It's
it
a
a real?
prop. It's a prop.
It's a prop, but
still,
if
it's gotta be
it fell
Yeah.
down
to it.
on you, it could really do some
Well, the
serious
average car is like 2 tons. Obviously, I doubt it's 2 tons, but still, it's
Yeah.
probably pretty heavy. Also, the person who was filming it, I'm sure they were probably in shock, but you got to get in the whole frame, man. I mean, it's cut off there. I mean, look at it. It's not even so. I mean, the
He's
main.
probably like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
God.
saying.
filming a moment, you're jamming, and then you're like, wait.
Well, I
something
mean,
doesn't
their
look
name
right.
is the handle's the main op. I guess I expect nothing less from the main op. But I was to say, like, at first, like doing well, but maybe I think in the moment, like it's like, oh shoot, this is really happening, and then kind of shakes a little bit. You see, like there.
Well, and today, like, just sets and props are so crazy. crazy with all the things they do, they might have thought it was part of the show at the beginning,
sure.
you know, like it's going to go back and forth or something like that. And then it kept going.
I mean, these concerts, they're fantastic. Ticket prices are high, and the show, you know, is in relation to that. But, I mean, what about just some music? I mean, we got her on a car above,
No,
you know,
I love it.
everybody.
Like,
we got Pink flying through the air doing
I
flips
love
everywhere.
it. Seeing
What are we
Beyonce is
doing?
on my concert bucket list because she puts on a show.
Yeah, that's one of those. Jacob reported today about like saving up for trips. Save
You've
up
gotta
6 to 9 months
save
for
up
a
for
Beyonce
those
trip.
concerts,
Yeah.
right? Because it's hard to drop like $500 on a ticket and you're not even used to. That was like front row, backstage passes, and now that's like, oh, you're in the nosebleed.
For $500 for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about crowds that are flocking to Indiana. They're trying to get a whiff of something truly unforgettable, but it's all terrible at the same time. Wally, the 6-foot corpse flower, is known for smelling pungent and only blooms for one day every couple of years. So, you know, that's why you rush to see it, because you only get to see it for that one day. It is a very rare flower species here on Earth, and it opens that day, and then it makes, you know, an unusual tourist attraction for everybody. But I just wonder how bad the smell is.
I couldn't imagine, especially in the greenhouse when it's already probably warm in there. And
They say it smells like a guy's locker
That's
room.
not even
some
that.
dirty.
That's not even that bad.
Like,
I don't know.
I
need to know,
smelled
like,
worse. I've
like
smelled
what
worse.
locker room is this? Is this like 7th, 8th grade boys' locker room where they're just discovering deodorant?
I was
I
gonna say
thought
just
they were all
Axe
the
body
same.
spray everywhere.
Or is it like high school, which those are still bad? I remember walking by those after a game or halftime. You know, the cheerleaders would be going to their locker room and they'd open that door. It was so bad.
Look, Tiffany, we needed to smell good. The Axe body spray, we just discovered that
We
spray.
could smell it coming in from our door after we had PE first period in the 7th grade.
The worst idea ever.
Yeah, but that's what they did because it wasn't fair to. It was 7th through 12th grade at my school, and so like 7th grade got the brunt of it, right?
Yeah.
And then like high schoolers got like 8th period, and so we could smell the Axe body spray coming under the door.
Well, at least there was
to
that.
our locker room.
Well, there's about 5,000 visitors for this, and here's what some of them are saying. Some say it smells like a floral dumpster. I don't know how that wouldn't be bad, right?
Yeah.
But one nurse saying that it smells like a wound with
I don't like that.
All right, now
deteriorating
that-
tissue.
I don't like that.
My dad is a hospice nurse, and I can tell you that smells awful. That I
think
do know smells bad.
Just the sound
Yeah,
of that makes me
yeah,
sick to my
Yes.
stomach.
it does. Oh, I don't know if I'd be flocking to go see
No.
this.
I will look at pictures. I'll view from afar.
Yeah.
I think like, but you have people who are kind of like, I don't know what the word would be, instead of like bird watchers, they like go and see all these flowers all over the world. I guess that's probably the people going to see this.
Maybe. All right, let's talk about something a little more appetizing here. Impressive new Guinness World Record in Argentina. Almost 10 tons of chicken is what they roasted. It's a charity event. They roast it. They celebrate the town's 242nd birthday. So it's a 60th anniversary of local poultry companies. They help organize this event, and they're just feeding everybody with these 10 tons of chicken.
That's
I bet
pretty cool.
that smells good.
I bet that's fun to go to, too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I bet when you have traditions like that have been going on so long, like, I love to see stuff like that.
Like I told you guys earlier, but just looking at it, it's like you can smell
Oh,
it.
it looks so good.
and it
too.
looks good. Like, it doesn't look like they just threw it on, no seasoning.
I mean, yeah, look at
to get the record done. Like, it looks
Yeah.
like they made this for a celebration. And wow, that would be fun to go to. Should we go next year?
I'd say around the corner to Argentina. I'm
it.
so down.
Yeah, definitely.
Winnie Gillette, take us with.
All right, let's talk about there will be a Devil Wears Prada 2. They're working on filming it now. Jacob is the only one on these couches that have seen
yeah,
this.
Which is a shock.
I was gonna say I thought it was like a huge movie.
It was.
Well, it was.
I don't know why we haven't seen it.
I mean, it came out in 2006, and at that point, you know, I was still learning addition and subtraction, so I
I'm
probably
still
didn't.
learning that.
But I think I don't know, because it's a big Broadway play too, obviously. And I don't know, it's one of those movies that we have it. I know where it is in my family house. I just never saw it.
I feel like I've never seen it, but I've seen so many clips that by now I've watched the whole movie.
Sure.
I feel like
Yeah.
I've tried to start watching it before. Is it kind of slow at the beginning?
Yeah, it's a little bit slow in the beginning. It gets better. It's just a lot of dry humor, and
Yeah.
especially with Meryl Streep playing Miranda Priestley, like super. Like I mean,
Wow.
it's like Anna
iconic.
Winter. You're trying to think Vogue,
Yeah.
Anna Winter, like that whole vibe.
Well,
but
wasn't it
it's-
sort of like based off her in a
Yeah,
winter when
like
they
loosely
wrote the
based.
part?
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering too, like what the plot will be on this, because she just announced that she's retiring in a Wind Tour, and so I wonder if that will kind of be maybe the plot line of Devil Wears Prada 2, and then like maybe Anne Hathaway stepping into that role or something.
Could be.
So I am curious in the timing of that. I wonder if they kind of knew.
Well, I think the best part is that you wouldn't, when you have sequels like that, usually you don't have everybody returning, but Anne Hathaway's coming back, Meryl Streep's coming back, so that's the best. Yeah. That's the best.
I always love Anne Hathaway, and she has aged backwards. She looks exactly
she still looks really good.
She looks fantastic. All right, it is the 4th of July week holiday. So where you're wondering what that weather is looking like, well, it's not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. And we just missed a story about the Postal Service putting SpongeBob stamps, and SpongeBob's my favorite show. So
okay, let's do SpongeBob. Okay.
All right, do we have time for it, guys?
We got time.
Very quickly.
Okay, Postal Service releasing these
Let's
SpongeBob
go.
stamps, and they're a pretty good design, right?
I mean, I would now, I'm not a big like mail deliverer, but I would write a letter to my family, because we all love SpongeBob. Like it was one of the few shows growing up that my parents would watch and not get annoyed by, and actually join us and enjoy it. Oh yeah. My dad thinks Patrick's the funniest guy ever.
I got annoyed by it as a kid.
That was my get ready for school show.
Oh yeah.
That was like really?
I would watch it here and there, like when nothing else was on Nickelodeon, because I'd switch back between Disney Channel and Nickelodeon. It just wasn't, I guess that wasn't my humor.
Yeah. Oh, Gravity Falls, that was a good one.
Oh, that's good.
Our house. Ooh, yeah.
Because that came out, in early, mid-2010s, I think?
But I respect SpongeBob.
Love it.
Respect. I mean, it's
great. It's great.
I mean, it's
an iconic show.
I'll say I mean, obviously Nickelodeon was big before that, but literally, if you were to flip on Nickelodeon right now, I feel like out of the 24 hours, 20 of them are SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah, for sure. All right. you got your SpongeBob in, so you can get the stamps starting
have to get
today.
You those stamps.
I was going to say, I will use those stamps. I don't mail much, but I will
get them
use
now, so when you have saved the dates and wedding invitations, you can put
SpongeBob.
Emily, if you're watching at home, take notes. We're using SpongeBob stamps. She did not watch SpongeBob growing up.
You just committed yourself to every wedding present ever going to be SpongeBob now.
Hey, I don't mind. Especially when we have kids, they're going to be watching SpongeBob. Anyway, we'll talk about the weather a little bit, and ignore my SpongeBob love. We are going to be seeing rain chances starting tomorrow. For that 4th of July, you're seeing the storm chances. You're like, crap, not again. Here's the thing. It looks isolated. Not everyone's necessarily going to see it, but those rain chances are there, especially during the day. At night for now, again, sunset's about 8:30. A little afterwards, 9 o'clock, a lot of fireworks shows start. It does look like it's on the drier side for now. And it looks not too shabby. Temperatures will probably be around 80. Dew points not too shabby as well. So just keep that in mind that for now it looks okay, but just to stay up to date on the forecast and have that radar app handy, especially during the daytime when it looks a little bit more likely. You might be on the water, or you might be out having a picnic.
Yeah, we will.
It's looking a little bit on the wetter side during the day. Again, still 30% chance. Looks a little bit more isolated. I know for the 4th of July, like we talked about at the top of the hour, we'll be grilling. We'll be putting stuff on the griddle. We'll be making those sunrise burgers. Hopefully it looks dry for that, at least during the morning. But at any rate, it looks okay, and definitely a lot better than what it could be for this time of year.
All right, sounds good. We can't wait. I'm hungry already. All right, join us back here again tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Brew.
See you then, 7 a.m.